Hey, good evening, everybody. What is going on? Paul here, be your DM for a little while. And tonight is Monday Mayhem. I am trying to keep some consistency on these Mondays just to kind of share with you a little bit about the games that I'm running over the weekend or some of the events that I'm going to, things like that. Just give you an update and give you something to look forward to on a Monday night. Maybe you just come home from a long day of work and you're like, hey, what's this guy getting on here talking about gaming? Yes, talking about gaming because it's fun. I love it, and so hopefully I'll be able to share with you a little bit tonight. To be honest with you, I did not have a ton of games this weekend. I actually had one game that canceled. Did not have enough people because I do learn to plays at my local shop, game store, and just did not have enough. I had two that were interested, but I usually have to have at least, total of four, maybe. Four total is usually a good number that I like to go with, so that, that the dynamics are there to, really get the full experience of, of playing as a party, at least, so they have some people to play off of and things like that. So as far as Saturday goes, that was kind of a bust in that sense. But what I did have planned is I started, or I was asked to start, I should say that. I was invited to start a gaming club at a high school. And so I said yes immediately because the students that I'm going to be working with my gaming. And for those that don't know, I'm also a therapeutic game master, which means I use my games alongside with social workers or therapists or people like that to help create a dynamic where these students who would benefit from this can jump in, learn to play, learn to problem solve, things like that. And so my game that I had was on Thursday. And I got there and got everything set up as quickly as possible. And the kids that came in, it's middle school students. And they are wild. They're wild. You know what? I wouldn't have them any other way though. All right. And just because that's that middle school energy, for anything. They're just down for anything. Go play in the street. Okay, we'll go play in the street. They're just totally into it. And only one of the few had any experience in playing. And so in breaking down for them, I used the rules for Deathbringer. Deathbringer is Professor Dungeon Master over on the Dungeon Craft, his page there. And the name of our group, by the way, I call it Questers. Questers. And I made this over on Canva, and it's just a blank little journal, and where they can write notes, and some of them already written notes in there. Won't let you show them too much there, but they actually use these because we were using those at the end of sessions to say, well, hey, write down some notes about your character or those type of things. And they really enjoyed these, and they're going to get to keep these. I'm holding on to these for now. And then at the end of our 8-week session, we will go ahead and give those to them as well as their character sheet. They get to keep the dice and all those things. This is what the Deathbringer sheets look like. Now, I did change the top there, only because, in any other scenario, this would be fine. So what I did was I took it and made my own, sheet that kind of fit our club. And so Questers, as far as they know, that's what we're playing. We're playing D&D, but as a Questers club. And this is the one page. And the reason why I went with Deathbringer rules is the simplicity of them. And it's one page. Because middle school students, I don't want to give them a ton of stuff. I don't want to give them a ton of things they need to know. I don't want them to have to read a bunch of stuff if they don't have to. And I kind of taught as I went. Now, I have, gone back and we've only had one session. So this past Thursday was our first session as a little club that we're going to go 8 weeks. And the Deathbringer rules are working for us. And I'll be honest, I'm new at it. I'm a rookie to it. And so in my brain was still operating on 5e. And so I had them roll their scores, which you didn't have to do, but because you're going to get bonuses. You're going to get bonuses in these slots no matter what. You're going to choose which bonuses you get. I think there's like a +5, +3, +2, +1, +1. And you can put those in any of the ability scores that you want to put them in. And so what I'm going to do is there's some things that I forgot. There's just something. I mean, it's like I said, it's brand new for me. And I would say, if you're looking to run games, if you're a player, maybe you're wanting to DM games. Listen, don't worry about forgetting things. I forget things all the time. I forget rules. I forget to do things. I forget, how to roll up your character for this new system. But I push myself in that direction because I want to learn. I just want to be able to learn, what, different systems and different ways of doing things, because it helps my brain to kind of function a little bit better in doing that. Now, what I have done, I will show you this. What I have done, let me come over here and see if I can't show you this, what I have here. And what I have here is I made a little chart. It's little, just 4 little cards, like postcard size cards that I have here. And you can see here, now the left-hand side, I'll show you here in a minute. I'm going to turn this around. But this is like the quester's character creation. So I try to keep this to 1 page. How do you create your character? And I may do a separate video just on the Deathbringer game. I want to play it a few more times to kind of get the real feel for it before I give a good assessment of it. First game was really good, but I think it's going to get better from here. So I give them basics. So when they're creating their character, I want to give them, and this is about helping new players. I'm really set on trying to get new players in quickly to playing. And that means to me is reducing the rule size, or at least compartmentalizing the rule sizes to where it's digestible, right? I didn't want to hand them, even the rules for Deathbringer are like 2 pages, right? Front and back. I didn't want to give them that. I wanted to separate the 2 functions. And the one function is the quester's character creation, which those are the same thing. And it gives them the basics about distribution. It starts with what you're starting with. You choose a background, choose a misery or hardship. Tells me what your defense is. When they get to armor's, give them their armor, which is +1, +2, or +3. Hit points are determined by class. Then I break down the classes for them. And so keeping it simple. And then over here, I have the actual rules. This is just one of the cards that you would have there. And that is, talking about having advantage, having what is disadvantage, what is advantage, what is a natural 1, what is a natural 20, what do those things bring about? What about if you're a magic user, what kind of magic do you get? And I also made it super simple for magic users. If you're going to be any type of magic user, and you notice I say magic user, I went old school dialogue there. That's like first edition language, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're going to play. And I got one kid in the group who's an actual magic user. And so all I did is I pre-pick his spells for him, put them in a little rubber band, and say, here's your spells, versus him trying to choose, his spells. I'm just going to say, this is what your character knows. And then some of the other characters, they have limited spell usage. I may give them one, like a cantrip or something like that. If they have, I know the characters are diverse as can be, and I'll get to them in just a minute. But let me just go ahead and just flip this over here and flip it around here and just show you that the rules here, these are the like I said, the simplicity of the rules. They can keep this to the side and just take at a glance, right? That's all I want them to be able to do, is be able to do this at a glance, to where they can see the cards of what the rules are, character creation, but the rules, the actual, the rules are just 2 cards they can look at to be able to help them do that. Now, I'm going back over here. So now that you see those, like I said, I want to keep it really simple. Keep it really simple for students so they don't get lost in the weeds. Now, as to the characters we have, they are, like I said, diverse. I just put no limits on. So what do you want to make? Right? Because and I didn't use the actual character classes that they offer. I wanted to keep that simple as well, because you want to know what a wizard is, right? You don't know what a plague master is, right? You're like, what is a plague master? And I want to go into all the different, roles that Deathbringer brings. Those are great classes if I was just teaching them to, anybody. But I wanted to keep it fairly, to where an image would pop into their mind when I said wizard, when I said fighter, when I said thief or rogue, when I said cleric or healer. And I've done my best to take the dungeon, Deathbringer rules, and I've tweaked them a little bit for this group. And I think that's perfectly okay for any rule set. You want to be able to tweak it towards your group. If you feel like it's too much, too little, you want to create house rules, do what you have to do to don't try to shove your players into the game. Figure out the simplicity of the game towards your players and then build upon it and expand upon it as you go. I find that to be a good rule of thumb for me, versus everybody has to learn everything, all this stuff, and then you can play correctly. I'd rather just say, you know what, I'm going to start with this and we'll build on it. So this next meeting we have this Thursday, I'll go ahead and share with them these cards, and I'll tell them, look, I messed up. It's okay. I forgot this. Now here, take this. Let's go do our thing, right? The characters we have are, like I said, diverse. We have I said, what do you want to play? And they said, I want to be a pirate. Okay. Pirates are good. I'll classify that as a, as a fighter. Somebody else is he's a rogue, turned to crime. He's a former chef, which is really fun. He's a former chef, and he was really into waffles. He calls himself the Waffle Man. What a great name. And he says he's got this knife that's like made out of a waffle. I'm like, okay, great. Let's go with that. We're going with Waffle Man. And he has a gun, a flintlock pistol, basically, that shoots tater tots. And these tater tots are going to do damage. And I figured out that we're going to do some sort of magic with them, possibly, to make them magic tater tots. He's figured out how to make magic tater tots, which, if you can make magic tater tots, let me tell you something. You are making something, my friend. And so we have that. We have a pixie that we have that can fly. I limit their flight a little bit of what they can do. But she has a little bit of magic to her. She is really, really sharp. Then we have a wolf man, and he's not a wolf man that changes back. He's just solid wolf. He's a wolf man. He is a bipedal, anthropomorphic wolf, and he does all the things with all his hands and legs and all that stuff. And he's really, really cool as well. And then we have, I want to say that we have a lizard person as part of the party. And the lizard person is, I want to say they're lizard. If they're not, they're a dragon, but we'll see. I have minis that I've set aside for them to be able to play, and hopefully we'll figure that out. But yeah, this is a really, really fun, energetic group. That's the kind of group I like. I would rather have to calm them down than energize them. If I get a group that's just dragging, it's like, and I got to, try to make it, zany for them or whatever, that's the hard part for me. I would rather try to contain them than try to, make them more excited. It's just easier for me. And we have decided to do Dragons of Stormwreck Isle. This will be my first time running it. And my goals for the first, I don't have an hour with them. So my first goal was simply to get them to know one another if they can, how they kind of communicate with one another, and then get them to the beach. And on the beach, there were skeletons and undead that came out of the sand and grabbed them, and they did some pretty amazing, cool stuff. The pixie one had grabbed onto the pixie's foot, so she flew up in the air to bring them out to the water and dropped them right there on the shore. And then somebody else went in to save her. And it was a thing. It was a fun encounter. And this is really what we're going to have. We're going to have these 7 to 8 encounters leading up to the finale, which is to fight the dragon. And I may have to skip some parts, right? This could go, deep if I wanted to. But I think with the time that we have, I think we're just going to move along and see how much we can do. Because at the end of the day, the goal, yes, is to play the game and know some of the rules. But for this group, because it's a therapeutic group in this sense, that I'm leaving time for our social worker to be able to ask questions, to kind of break down some things, to see how they interact with one another, and be able to do those things as well. So technically I have about 45 minutes of actual playtime. So we have to go in hot and then go from there, then create some sort of disturbance and some encounter, and exploration, right? So it's all about, role play. The 3 pillars of D&D is role play, exploration, and combat. And so I want to see if I can't make that work within that 45 minutes somehow. And it doesn't have to be equal. It doesn't have to be 15, 15, 15. It could be just smaller, and that's fine. And so, but that is the game of the week. My hope is, and I was supposed to have a Friday night game. That wound up not happening either because I got friends of mine that are out of town. I normally run Esper Genesis, which is a 5e science fiction game that I run for them on a Friday night, every Friday night, and no game there either. So this is what we had. And so I hope that you guys enjoyed hearing about Questers, our little group that we have, our little middle school, after school D&D group, therapeutic gaming group. And they have no idea it's a therapeutic gaming group. It's just, to them, they're just playing a game, and they are. And the follow-up is nothing, anything else going on other than the social worker who's helping out is asking questions afterwards and getting feedback and just see how they work within the dynamics of a role-playing game, to be able to process that and help them do things like problem solve, how to de-escalate a situation, seeing if combat's everybody's first choice in a dilemma, things like that. And so we're gonna keep on playing. We're gonna get better as we go. I'm gonna get better as I go. I'm gonna learn the rules better for Deathbringer. And but I'd love to hear from you guys if you are interested in anything that I'm doing. If you want to hear more about Questers, if you want to hear more about this adventure, which I believe I have a video for this. So yeah, if you want to check down there in the doobly-doo there, you can check out my review an unboxing of the starter adventure that came out, I think late last year. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. And also all the other stuff down there as well. If you're interested in booking a game with me, I am a professional GM. Would be happy to run a game for you if you're interested. You can check out what kind of games I have down there. I'm hoping to run a little Curse of Strahd this month, and I'm hoping I'm going to put that up and just put some dates on there and see if I can run, because I haven't run it yet. I'm just dying to run it. So if that is of interest to you, leave me some comments below. Appreciate that. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for a while. Appreciate you being a part of the Monday Mayhem tonight. Leave any questions you have below. Comments are always appreciated. And, of course, if you want to hit the thumbs up button, that's always great. Well, that lets me know you like the video and you want more of them. So that's it for tonight, guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And hopefully I'll catch you. Hopefully I'll have more games to talk about next weekend. All right? All right. We'll catch you guys later. Have a good one, everybody.